to this course basic manufacturing technology second unit third lecture 38 reciprocating machine tools. Okay, I some of discuss this chapter and last lecture for the reciprocating of planer and shaper machines. Okay, and some of the element of these machines are reciprocate to the sliding motion and to the reciprocating motion or and the additional for the circular motion of the tools and workpiece for cut for the metal of the workpiece and complete to the workpiece. Okay, some of discuss some of very important point in this video and the other machines and classification of machines and the reciprocating motion and the types of reciprocating motion and the types of the types of the tools and use for the reciprocating motion machines and some of the additional element used in these machines. Okay, some of discuss point is this is video is very detailed. Okay, agenda for today present in this video some of point of view hydraulic shaper machine. Okay, hydraulic the generate to the hydraulic pressure. Okay, and generated to the hydraulic pressure and the pressure is used for the reciprocating motion of the some of element of the shaper machines. Okay, and the very some of the pressure is the above for the atmosphere pressure in this cylinder. Okay, hydraulic cylinder. Okay, work holding in shaping machines. Okay, some of the devices used in the hydraulic holding of the jobs and holding of the other element of the machines and use for the some of holding devices in this machines. Okay, cutting tool use. Okay, some of the tools used in the cutting for the straw metal on the workpiece. Okay, and complete for the workpiece in useful of the need of customer and market demand. Okay, and the shaping time and the power estimation, some are used for the power of the shaper machines and planer machine and some of the reciprocating motions and all the use of the power consumptions of power in the machines and calculate for the and some of the other assumptions in analysis of these machines and discuss for the increase for the efficiency of the machines and use for the some of assumptions in verify of the efficiency of the all machines members and rotation for consumptions of power need for the machines. Okay, the hydraulic shaper machines are the hydraulic. The advantage of these machines and the shaping machines, cutting speed remains constant. Okay, the this is machines is the most important of the objective of this machine, and the working procedure and the manufacturing operation is start to end. The duration of the period of the operation is constant rate. Okay, through the most of the cutting stock, like unlike for the crank shaper. Okay, and where the speed change of continuously, some of the machines is only for discuss for the of the speed of the machines and cut for the metals and the machines is the increase for the efficiency of the machines and the the created for the more of the designs and some of the point of view for discuss in this chapters. Okay, the present for the very details in this video for add the continuously cutting for the metals and with the help of the reciprocating motion of the machine tools. Okay, other point to discuss for the very details. Okay, since the power available remains the constant throughout it the possible for utilize and full the capacity of the tool cutting during for the cutting stroke. The cutting stock of this machines is the very powerful used in this stock for very powers and consumption for create for the of the positive work and no loss of the energy and the power consumption through this the stocks and the efficiency is the most important for the useful of the machines the constant power and the machines is supply for the power is the head stock of the machines and the most important for the is these machines for the motor is the also convert for the power electrical power convert into the mechanical power also used for the sum of the point for the generated to the hydraulic pressures and the hydraulic cylinder in the piston cylinder used for these machines and some of the receive the tools and the tool holders are rotate for the reciprocating motion and some of the forward motion and backward motion. For forward motion is the forward stock is cut for the metals in this the stock and second is the reverse stock for the not cut for the metal and the machine's speed is increased in this the stock and forward stock is the machine speed is the decrease as the but given for the work. Okay, and the cutting speed the cut for the metals in this cutting speed and forward stock to given for the work. The point third, the ram reverses quickly without any stock due to the hydraulic cylinder utilized. In this, the operation machines is used for the hydraulic cylinder. Hydraulic cylinder is the provided to the power of the machines is the need for the power of the machines and the cylinder is the provided to the power of the machines is time to time. Okay, and some of the power used for the cutting stock is the very high power and the piston cylinder is the given for the pressure and the cutting stock is the pressure is the very high and the reverse stock of the pressure is the for the cylinder is the also for decrease for the power. Okay, the range and the number of the cutting speed possible for are the reliability large in the hydraulic shapers. Suppose that the a number of the cutting speed the possible of the stock is the speed and the relative to the depend on the stock the cutting stock is the need for the cutting stock for need for the power required is the must and for the and the this is the cutting speed is depend on the metal properties of the a very high strength of the metals the cutting speed is the less and the materials is the low strength and the power and cutting stock is the increase more stroke per minute can be achieved for the continuing less time is the reversal for and the return stock of the the stock is the per minute is required for cutting for the metal and can be achieved by the consuming or less times. Okay, the cutting of the material is the consumed for the less power of the in the machine and the reversal for the return stock is the not cut for the metal and for the free of the tools is moved from the original position. Okay, disadvantage of those machines it is more expensive as the compared to the mechanical shaper. This machines is the is the very extensive for compared to use in the tooling of the cooling of the liquid and the some of mechanicals hydraulic and use for the more space of these machines and the stopping the point of the cutting stock and in the hydraulic shaper can vary depending upon the okay the stopping point of the cutting stroke. Okay, the cutting stroke of the stroke in the hydraulic shaper can vary depending upon the resistance offered to the cutting by the work of the materials. And there is the sum of the point of view. And the the cutting stroke in the hydraulic shaper, the cutting stroke is the available for the powers and pressure. The hydraulic pressure is the given for the power in the mechanically power form of the cut for the metal of the machines can be vary depending upon the resistance offered to of the generated in the hydraulic cylinder offered cutting by the work materials. The work materials is the very hard, and the tools is the use for the very strong also. The less the tools is the strength is the very high, and as compared to the cutting of the metals is okay. The workings are holding in the separate some of the devices used for the holding of the jobs and holding of the tools and motion of the provided for the hydraulic cylinder and piston cylinder of the okay. Some of the connecting rod used for the piston and so given for the pressure of the other the arm okay used for the workpiece is which are small and normally held in the vice of fix of the separate tables. Some of the holding devices used for the separate machines and the holding for the job on the tables and on the tables, star for the of the tables, the fix for the fix of the jobs and the some of the other arrangement, some of other holding arrangement such the the angle of plate stopper the clamp and support for element can be used for okay. Some of element other element used for this operations and used for the clamp devices and can angle of the pitch plate the staff clamps and support element can also be used okay. These use for depend upon the workpiece shape and the geometry for the generated of the workpiece in the process. The cutting tool use a large variety of the single point cutting tools with various approaches and each for the geometries can be used in the shaper machine. The shaper machines is also I know that for the single cutting tools machines okay and use for the very strong tools and the one workpiece is that work for performed to the one time of the tools and one operation okay. And the single point cutting tools of the machines this is the very use for the very strong of the tools and the machines is the medium large size. The various is the geometry of the tools and use for the very strength for the tools. Single point cutting tools similar to the types used in lathe and used in the shaper to the single point cutting tools machines for lathe machines and the cyper machine both are machines for the single point cutting tools machines and the very strong machines okay. And the main difference is the clearance angle required will have to be properly grounded into the tools as there is no adjustment possible in the sapers compare for box arrangement okay. The main difference of this both are machines and lathe machines and the sapper machines and the main difference of the clearance angles. The sapper machines were performed to the clearance angles is and the more and less but lathe machines also used for the clearance angle but the medium size of the angle properly grounded into the tools as there is the no adjustment possible in the sapper machines and clamps box each arrangement of these machines is used in the motors and other holding devices in the machines okay. The cutting tools use is continue present. Both the right hand and left hand tools are used in this saper machines. Okay, the saper machines is used in the tools is work perform on at the times is the one tools is used for the one job and one perform the work, and the other is the tools both are right hand side tools use and left hand side tools also use. The machines is the left and right both are work purpose. Since the cutting speed used for relatively low and high speed steel is the most widely used cutting tools material for the shaping tools. Okay, some of the tools used in the machines and the shaping of the machines and other the holding of devices. The surface with the cutting speed related to the high speed steel is the most widely used for the material. The metal cutting operation is the very strong of the workpiece for these tools use. The cutting tool in the cutting tool is the tools head needs to be rotated by the suitable angles. The two cutting tools is also the rotate perform to the rotation of the is the need for the angle of the perform to the work. Okay, and the tools is the need for the perform to the work in the angle of the 30 degree and 40 degree and 30 degree 20 degree. All need for the angle is also performed to the work in the angle to the workpiece is surface beginning the generated as the very the work performed to the tools is the very strong. The shaping time and power estimation of these machines. The shaping times in the shaping machine is the work performed to the is the word says the shaping this the time consumed for the shaper machine, and I say that for shaping time. Okay, the stock of the mechanical shaper should be adjusted in such a way for the tools for start the cutting stock and small distance before the workpiece and clamp clamped the stock after the further small distance. Okay, the stock of the mechanical shaper machines should be adjust in such a way for that is the tools are performed to the right to left to motions, and the tools is also were performed to the according to the angles and the need for the jobs angles, and some of the point is discussed for the machines. The cutting tools is the move for the workpiece is cutting stock and small distance distance for of the machines is the one point to and other point is the tools is rotate to the cutting speed is also defined, and the workpiece and complete for stock of after the further small distance. Okay, cutting stock is the complete for the duration of the length of the very smalls, and stock after further for the distance is the small distance. The shaping time and power is the continue present. The distance is necessary to give the sufficient time for the reversal of motion, and also the cutting does not take place at a very low speed. The the cutting tools of the tool stock and the is the reverse positions, and the cutting forward stock and the reverse stock. The forward stock is the tools is the perform to the work, and speed is the medium work and the return stock of the machines is speed is the very high, and the tool is also written for the original position of the perform to work. Okay, and the cutting does not take place at the very low speed. Okay, and which of the case for beginning and end of the stock, the forward stock end and the machine's speed is increased for the for the reverse stock is the of the tools and machine tools are achieved for original positions. Okay, the approach distance and cover the travel each can be taken as 15 to 25 mm. Suppose that given for the tools speed is the 15 to 25 mm, and the tools is select for the programs, and the tools also move from forward to backward, and the other is the tools is motion rotate. Okay, and some of the point element discussed for that, this is the this is the spindle of the tools, and this is the this is the motors and head stock of the machines, and this is the bolt holding for the tail, tool post of the head stock of machines, and this is the also used for the tools is also connect for this point of the this is the tools work performed to the this is the workpiece. Okay, this is the cut for the metals on the side of the machines, and the perform to the work of the shaper machines, and the sealing of the tools head in shaper to the sweat for the workpiece is surface the finish for the workpiece, and the power is also consumed to this operation. The shaping time and power estimation is the find out this is the sum of assumptions and required for this formula. The cutting speed in the case of shaping is the speed of the speed tools and forward direction during the actual cutting. The I discussed for this point before for this slide, and the forward stock forward stock duration of the cutting for materials, and select for the and the forward stock end of the stock, and cut the end of stock, and the machines is the performed to the reverse positions of the tools, and the speed is increased. Okay, speed is increased, and the direction the forward directions at the cut for the metals, and reverse direction of the tools motion and not cut for the metal. In the case of mechanical shaper it is the um, average speed. Okay, and this is the both are the mechanical shaper machines is the medium speed perform to the work, and the not loss of the power in this machine. Let the n is the power is the tools and the workpiece rotation for n is the and with the rotational speed of the tools, and the okay tool of the machines, and bull gear. Bull gear also used for length of the bull gear L is be the length of the stroke. Okay, bull gear is the distance, and the length of the stroke is the same. Okay, the speed ratio indicate the proportion the time actual cutting is taken take place is the defined as the time. Okay, the speed of the speed ratio of the sapper machine, the time for forward stroke upon time for return stroke. Okay, and the forward stroke is nf. Nf is means for the f equal to the given by the feed rate of the tools. Okay, and the NR मतलब return stock, okay, F is का forward stock, and और NR is equal to return stock of the machine. Both are the speed ratio of these machines for the are equal to time for forward stock upon time for return stock. The NF upon NR equal to 3 by 2, and the this is the speed is the normal speed of the machines, okay, and this is the speed ratio, okay, this is the speed ratio formula. The forward and time for the time is the consume for the time is the and the time for the forward stock upon time for the return stock is equal to NF upon NR, okay, this is NF upon NR. This is the formula is present for the normal speed of these machines, and the value of R is the mm, sum of point is the typical of the mechanism is about for 1.5. The means that the time for completing to the stock is, okay, and this is the 1.5 minute is the time complete for the stock, okay, complete for the stock forward stock. The time for completing to the cutting stock NF upon N into NF plus NR. This is formula is also present for the this is the time for consume, okay, this is time required for the operations of the machines, okay, of the machines, and some of the power discussed for the operation. NF the completing for the cutting stock NF upon N into NF plus NR. This is formula is the completing for the cutting stock, okay. The and other formula is used in this the operations, and some of point discussed for the cutting speed each the speed of the ram is the cutting direction, okay. The sum of the cutting speed I find out this the tools of the cutting speed of the of these machines. The thus for the cutting speed is present for the speed is V, and V equal to L is the length of the bull gear, and N is the number of rotation of the bull gear, okay. In N is also for the NR plus NF upon NF, okay. This is the formula is the this is the formula used for the, okay, this formula is the speed of the machines, okay. The cutting speed V is the Ln upon NR plus NF upon NF, okay. This is the formula is given for the cutting speed of the machines. The time for completing one stock, and the T equal to the L is the length of the bull gear upon N, and the, okay, T is the minute, okay, time in minutes, okay, okay. The this is formula is a second formula is the time for the completing of the stock T. Find the value of T equal to L upon N. L is the length of the bull gear, and N is the number of the rotation for the stock, okay. And this is formula for find this is one formula is the find out the value of the sapper machines in the speed ratio R, okay. And a second formula is the time for the completing the stock is NF upon N into NF plus NR, okay. And this is the value for assumption, and some of the other assumptions for find out the cutting speed. And the cutting speed formula V equal to L into length upon time. Okay, length upon nf. So time for the L into length of bulgare into n is the number of rotation, and nf is the forward return stock of the time, and time for the forward stock upon time for the forward stock. Okay, and some other formula is the time for complete for the stock of the. Okay, so time for required for the stock T equal to L upon N. T is the length of the bull gear, L is the length of bull gear, and N is the okay, and the forward of the time for consume. Okay. The feed itself is the small lateral moment given for the tools in the direction of perpendicular to the cutting speed directions. Okay, the sum of point is discussed for this formula according to the the small lateral moment of the tools is also moved from the tools is in the direction of perpendicular to the cutting speed of the direction. Other formula, it is give for before the beginning of each cutting stroke. Okay, this is the also this is the point or discuss for the velocity of the tools cutting speed, and the complete for the stroke time, and find out the cutting of the speed ratio, and some of the complete for the forward cutting for stock. Okay, some of the point discussed for the before, and for according to the all the times, and some of the assumptions value increase and decrease for the depend upon the property of the materials. Okay, this speed is the specified in the speed in the unit for the speed of this machine tools is the per stroke. Okay, and number of stroke okay, in the SN number serial number require for moment of the layer of the materials for the surface of the workpiece depends on upon the weight of the workpiece is W, and the feed rate of the F is the employed of the all the speed, and other the cutting stock complete for the stock and speed ratio, all the assumptions is the depend upon the feed rate of the tools and speed of the tools. Okay, and the W is the workpiece width of the workpiece, and F is the feed rate of the given for the machines. And some of other formula of discuss for number of stock required for the complete for the one workpiece. Okay, the F upon W upon F is the W is the W is the use for the workpiece, the width of the workpiece upon F is the feed rate. The given for the formula number of stock required for SN equal to W upon F is the feed rate, and W is the width of the workpiece. Okay, and the total machining time, find out the value of the complete for the one job of the the required for the time is the capital T into SN. SN is the required for number of the number of stock required for the machines. Okay, and T is the time required for the one stock time, and number of the time is required for the one stock, and the into the F is SN is the total time. Okay, SN is the number of required for the time, number of the stock required for the complete for the workpiece. Okay, and T cap the machining times. Okay, some of the example present for this is. Okay, this is formula. A saper for operate at the 120 cutting stock. Okay, n equal to this value stock per minute. Okay, एक मिनट में 120 कटिंग स्टॉक लगाती है मशीन. यूज फॉर द मशीन्स ऑफ वर्क पीस इज द 250 in length of the 120 width. Okay, L is the 250 mm, and L is length of width, and W equal to 120 mm, and use for the feed rate F equal to 0.6 mm per stalk, and depth of cut is the 6 mm. Calculate the total machining time for the machining the components if the forward stalk is completed in the 230-degree. Calculate the percentage of the time when the tools is not connecting the workpiece. Okay, the sum of the assumption for all the value given for this solution point. Let the approach distance for the consider for the approach distance is the 25 mm. Okay, and some of the given for the two values in there. Okay, consider for the 15 mm या फिर 25 mm. Okay, I let consider for the 25 mm value put, and for the solve this problem. Total length of the stalk L equal to 250 mm plus 25 equal to total length of the stalk is the 275 mm. Okay, the total length. Okay, number of stalk required for this operation. Okay, the number of the stock, the cutting stock is given for the 120. Okay, the cutting stock 120 upon give put for the feed. Okay, feed stock 0.6. The cut for the solve this the value given for the value is the 200. Okay, 200. Okay, this is the 200, and the time for completing one stock, capital T, find the value of one stock complete for the one stock. Okay, and the total of the let for the value given for the complete for the time is the T equal to total length 275 upon number of stock required. Okay, and this is the capital T. Okay, capital T equal to total length L upon, and the N is the number of stock. Okay, N. Okay, the put for the value of the capital T equal to 275 upon 120 stock. Okay, cut for the value of the, and find the value of the 2.292. Okay, minute. Okay, and total machining time the required for the complete for the one stock time. Okay, 2.292 into number of the required for stock the 200. So total machining time is total machining time the one complete for the stock time 2.292 into, and the put for the value of the number of stock the 200. Okay, the total given for the value is the 458. Okay, 33 minute total time. The forward stroke is during for the 3 230-degree. Okay, given for the other is value for the forward stroke is required for the 230-degree. Okay, the percentage of the time for tool is not cutting. The total for the percentage for the total angle is the, consider total angle 3 300 360. Okay, minus tools is also required for the angles is the 230. put for the value of the put for the value is the total angle 360 minus 230-degree. Okay, and upon 300 60 degree. Okay, and given for the percentage of the angles is the 36.11%. Okay, okay, and other find out the value of the cutting speed v equal to total length cutting stroke. Okay, the cutting stroke is the v equal to l into n. Okay, into a total angle. Okay, total angle 360 degree. Okay, upon 1000 into given for the angle is 230. Okay, put for the value and find the value of cutting speed is the 50.65 meter per minute. Okay, per minute. Thank you so much, dear students.